Hello, everybody. First, I'd like to thank everybody for their comments on the ukes I've been working on. Anyway, somebody asked me to show them how to make the fretboards. Now, I'm in no way acting like I know what I do, or am doing. Rather, I'm not a luthier. I'm just a kind of tinker artist guy who started making instruments and figured out a way that worked for me, at least in this crude way. And so I would encourage anybody that knows what they're doing better. Of course, I mean, it's going to be lots of you who are going to know better ways to do these things. I would love that feedback. However, I hate it when not knowing how to do something keeps you from doing something. I used to have a boss that said there's just one way to do it, and that's just do it. I'm a dork. Anyway, so this is what I do. I go to, well, you can go to StewMac or build your own guitar, something like that. Get your, choose your distance, get your fret calculations out. That's going to give you a number, like, for somewhere, say, in the, toward down the neck, it's going to say like 3.85678 or whatever is your thing. Well, to me, that didn't make any sense, because what does that mean on a ruler? I'm not so sure. So even though I'm not so good at math, I did come up with some sort of formula where if it's, say, 3 point something something inches, you want the magic number here is 0.0625. Take whatever is after the decimal, divide that by 0.0625, and what that's going to basically do is then the number you'll get will be how many sixteenths that translates into. This is just the way I did it. My ruler only has left over from a drafting class or something in college. It only has sixteenths. You can guess where a 32nd is. I'm figuring there's only so accurate I'm going to be in the long run. But so then I would take, like I said, only what's after the decimal, because you already know how many inches. So then I would get something that was like, say it would be 3 inches and 14 point something sixteenths. I know it kind of doesn't make sense, but it did for me. So that means, I'd just go to 3 inches, of course, and that's where I'd mark. Or what I'd do, I'd start with my wood there. Get a couple of these little clamps. Makes it real easy just to clamp. Only got one here, of course, but clamp your ruler on there with it set at 0, and then you can just go down through after you've taken, got all your measurements, and just, the first one's probably going to be around 15 sixteenths or something like that, then one and whatever, and on down. Mark those with a nice sharp pencil. This is the dumbest instructional video ever. Then I use just a framing square, because that's what kind of tools I got, and go down through and try to as neatly make the straight lines as I can in what seems like the best place. Then what I found really works good lately when I'm using this thicker stuff anyway, I take these kind of clamps, only some bigger ones, and just clamp that right onto my workbench. At which point I take this little saw thing that came from like Home Depot or Lowe's, or preferably your local hardware store, and then use this guy after this is clamped on the workbench, and just try to get that blade on that line the best I can. And it's really easy to cut everything too deep or not deep enough when you don't have any sort of idea of what you're doing. I normally just go by the little teeth there as a good kind of way to at least be consistent. And as soon as I got my teeth buried in the wood, that's when I stop. I use all really straight wood because I don't have any way to make fancy tapers. So I just go through, count, decide how many frets I'm doing. I pretty much don't even mess around on the tenors. 16 frets, I'm never going to play past the 12th. When really, but 16, 15 or 16, it at least looks okay. I don't go any higher than that, because once they get down there, like I say, I'm not going to use them. Why use the wire? I found from StewMac, if I get one of their pieces of fret wire, and I've got 15 or 16 frets. I can pretty much get all those out of one piece, because this is like 1.5 inches wide. It means that my strings are typically a little wider at the top than a standard ukulele, and then a little bit closer together. I try to taper them, bring them in just a little bit. And, oh, anyway. So yeah, after I got my slots cut, I just go through. I've cut all my pieces of fret wire, roughly 1.5 inches. I used to go through then and file them down. I found then, set them in the little thing. I take a hammer, kind of lightly get it going in there, or if I can just push it in with my fingers. This little saw is just about right, I guess, maybe tight. I've never used a real fret saw. Then I just take a little block of scrap wood, set it on top, pop, pop, get in. At which point I pick up my Dremel tool then, after I've got all the frets in, little grinding stone, go down through the edges and just try to like get it smooth there, and then kind of take a little bit of the edge out over this way, just slightly to kind of bevel it edge. Then what I didn't bring up from my wood shop that that I really like, and somebody had just got it for me. I don't even know. It's one of those little sanding sponge, but this one is particularly kind of coarse, and it's not so much like sandpaper as it is this weird textured weave. I think it might be for drywall. I'm not sure, but it's nicely abrasive. At this point, I've usually stained whatever wood I'm using. My frets are in there. They're all kind of now rough from the grinding stone on the Dremel tool. And I just take that sponge and down the edge. You like that sound effect? And then kind of go this way with it too. That smooths everything out, makes it, takes away some of the shine. Tends to kind of take away a little bit of the stain on the edge, but I'm happy with that because it gives sort of a worn look, a naturally aged end to the frets. Anyway, I've had pretty good luck with that so far, thankfully. And whenever I've, kind of compared a few, then they all tend to look like they're lined up pretty good. So I think it's maybe not the most accurate, but accurate enough. So anyway, this probably took way too long. I hope that helps somebody else make fretboards to make a ukulele or some other cool homemade instrument. All right, thank you.